Hi, everybody. Welcome to the ninth grade course selection video where we're going to help you pick out some classes. My name is Miss Johnston. I'm one of the CHS counselors, and students on my caseload are last names H to O.
Hi, guys. I'm Miss Goldman or Miss G, and students on my caseload have last names A through G.
Hey, everybody. I'm Mr. Cummins, and I have students with last names P through Z.
Before we jump into the registration packet, this is the most important thing we're going to tell you. Do not stress out about these forms. We know there's a lot of information. It can be very overwhelming, but we're going to walk you through everything. After today, when you take all this information home to your parents, we hope that you'll watch all the videos together. And then remember, every 8th grade student is going to have an individual appointment sometime in the spring with one of us to go over all your courses with you and answer any questions that you might have to finalize your courses. Even after that day, you have until the last day of school, June 16th, to change your courses. So please don't stress. Fill out the form as best you can. We're going to give you all kinds of hints. So without further ado, we're going to jump into the registration packet. So while Miss Goldman finds the right form, we also wanted to let you know we're having an Islander family night as a welcome for 8th grade families sometime right around spring break, where you're going to come to campus and you're going to meet your counselors. We're going to give you more information about signing up for classes in college, and there's going to be representatives from some elective classes and all kinds of great teachers to meet, and it's going to be super fun. So we really want to encourage you to attend with your parents, your siblings. Come and hang out with us. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Okay, so now we're gonna jump into the registration paperwork. So the first page is a list of everything that you should do in order to be ready to submit your classes. There's a series of registration counseling process videos to watch. You need to review graduation and college requirements with your parents. We're going to go over some sample four-year plans that you can look at. And then if you're a planner, we highly encourage you to fill out your four-year plan. Again, this is just to get you ready for high school and thinking about college. And I think it just really helps to see if you map it out. Of course, each year, you know, what you fill out as a freshman, you might be taking different classes as a senior. That's okay. It's just a planning tool. We don't want it to stress you out. You also need to complete your course selection sheet. There should be 8 course selections. You need to pick some alternate courses, and then you're going to do your best to enter those courses into Synergy. But if that part doesn't get done, that's okay. But you need to come to your counseling appointment with this form filled out. So very important. Okay, now we're going to jump into high school graduation requirements. We talked a lot about this in our big registration video, so this is just another reminder. We really align our high school graduation requirements with college entrance requirements, so we talk a lot more about those. So just as a reminder, it's A through G is the terminology that the Cal State system, so Cal State San Diego State, there's 23 campus, and the UC system, the University of California, so UC San Diego, UCLA, they call the courses that you need to take in high school to be eligible to apply the A through G classes. And here they are as part of your registration packet. A is history, social science, B is English, C is math, D is lab science, E is world language, F is fine art, and G is a college-approved elective. So we've set up the course selection sheet to kind of label all these things so that you can really get used to the terminology.
Hey, Ms. Johnson, I have a question. So
Yes.
On there, it says that I have to have a C or better to meet my A through G requirements, but I have a bunch of D's and F's on my transcript, but they just passed me on to the next class. Does that change in high school?
It does change in high school, Mr. Cummins. So in high school, every class that you pass with a C or higher marks off one of those classes that you need to complete A through G requirements. If you get a D or an F in high school, A through G classes must be remediated to a C or higher. You need to earn 230 credits to graduate. And if you fail a class, then you have to remediate it in order to graduate and get yourself ready to apply to a four-year college. Any other questions, Mr. Cummins?
Not right now, but I'm sure I'll find some more as we go along.
Okay. So the next several pages have to do with sample four-year plans. So the first one is taking college prep classes to be eligible to apply to a UC, a Cal State, or the four-year college of your choice as a senior. The next four-year college plan shows what an advanced track will look like. So you'll see a lot of advanced placement classes. Remember, those are four-year college level classes you can take in high school that we talked about in the prior registration video. You do not have to take all APs in every subject area in order to get into a good college. Our recommendation as counselors that help guide you through this process is to take advanced and honors courses in subjects that you love, that you're good at and passionate about. For example, many of the students on my caseload really like math and science, so they chose to take maybe APs and honors in math and science and STEM electives, and that's okay. And maybe they don't take AP courses in social science or English. So your individualized four-year plan is going to be a mixture of all these plans. We just wanted to give you a bunch of ideas on how you could lay things out. So continuing on, the next four-year college plan is just a sample of what an IEP supported four-year plan might look like. And then our last four-year college plan are for COSA, Coronado School of the Arts. So if you're applying for a conservatory, here's some examples of what your four-year college plan might look like. And then the next page is a place where you can fill out your four-year college plan. Again, this is a planning tool for you to use to try to get yourself into the mindset of coming to the high school and getting excited about it, because we're really excited that you're coming up and we're excited to help you pick out courses. Underneath there is a graduation tracking worksheet that we use with our students all the time. So students will come in and they'll be like, I want to know where I am for graduation. We will print them a transcript, which is your official grade record in high school. And then they keep track of the classes that they've taken and they can see the progress that they're making. So we hope that you find all these tools very useful and you can kind of see how courses are laid out. You have many, many options in high school to pick out courses that you want to take for elective classes, which are classes you get to pick out based on your interests and strengths. And there's different version of the academic courses that you can take. There's AP offered in many levels. So we're excited to give you this planning tool. Do you two have any questions about this form?
Not yet. I'm excited to pick up my classes though.
Okay.
Ms. Johnson, do I have to know every class I'm going to take for all 4 years right now? I feel overwhelmed, or are you guys as counselors going to help me figure that out each year as I go along?
So Mr. Cummins, if you're a planner, you can actually go to the CH website under the counseling tab and you can see the course selection sheets for every single grade level. Lots of my students are planners and they get excited about these things and they want to map every single course out. I have other students that are not really sure what they want to take and they'll come and ask me a lot of questions about what I think about certain electives and I help them along. So this is just a planning tool that we like to use and we have to give out to students. Is it a requirement that you fill in every single course and get stressed out about it? Absolutely not. It's just a planning tool for you to use so you can start thinking and getting excited about your high school experience at Coronado High.
If I fill out all 4 years, are those the classes that I have to take all 4 years, or can I change them later?
Absolutely not. Every year there's going to be a grade level video for you to watch. So next winter, you are going to be watching a video on 10th grade courses and you can refill out your 4-year plan. Maybe you took an elective like an engineering course and you're like, wow, I'm really excited about this. And now I maybe want to take a woodworking class and I want to take a computer science class. So this is just a planning tool you can use to kind of start figuring out what high school will look like. It's a big change from Coronado Middle School, and we just want to give you lots of information so that you can get excited and start knowing the lay of the land, because we talk about this stuff all the time in classrooms. You're going to keep hearing about this all year long when you're a freshman. Any other questions, you two?
Can I pick my classes?
Yes, let's pick our classes. Okay. So everybody, it's very, very important that you fill out this course selection sheet as best you can and turn it into your 8th grade science teacher. This is what the counselors are going to use to go over you when you have your individual appointment later in the spring. If it's a little bit confusing about entering the classes in student view, that's okay. Do the best that you can. The counselor is going to finalize in student view when they meet with you. So you're going to fill out this form as best you can. You're going to put your name at the top, and then there's some reminders at the top. So Miss G is going to fill out this form as an 8th grade student with me. You must take a minimum of 6 classes. 6 classes is full-time, but we encourage everybody, especially freshmen, to take up to 8 classes just so that you can take some fun electives and get involved in the campus and try out new things. So many of our freshmen and sophomores take 8 classes. We encourage that, but that is up to you and your parents. And then there's some reminders up there. You cannot ask for certain teachers or periods. We offer a variety of different electives, and if there's not enough interest, we might have to cancel a course. So that's why it's very, very important that you fill out this entire form as correctly as you can. So at the end of this course selection sheet, you're going to have 8 course codes, and we're going to go through them line by line. And my trusty coworkers are going to interrupt me with a lot of buggy questions that I'm going to answer for them. So are you ready to get started, Ms. G?
I'm so excited.
Okay. So you will notice under A, again, that's UC terminology for all your humanities and social science courses. We do not require freshmen to take any history courses, so there's no course number. Starting as a sophomore, you will have an A requirement, which is world history. Now, your B requirement, which is English 9. All freshmen take English 9. There's no opting out of it. You need 4 years of English to graduate and for college. So that's filled in for you, 0146. And then there's a 1 there because that counts as 1 course. Next, C, mathematics. Here's where it gets a little bit confusing, but I'm going to go through it line by line. If you're in Math 8 as an 8th grader, you are going to take Math 1, which is 4510. But before Ms. G, before you fill that out, let me go through the sequence. Some 8th graders are taking Integrated Math 1 at CMS. In that case, the correct math class for you would be 4513, Integrated Math 2. I also know a small portion of you are taking Math 2 right now. And then as a freshman, you would put 4525. So that's the basic math sequence. Your 8th grade math teacher is a great resource for this. In large part, we go off of 8th grade teacher recommendations for a lot of this placement, but we do want you to fill out this form. So you do have the option of sequencing math courses. What that means is Miss G took Math 8 in 8th grade, so she might want to take Math 1 and Math 2 at CHS next year. And what that would mean is she takes Math 1 in the fall term, term 1, and then in January, when we switch to 3 or 4 totally new classes, she would be enrolled in Math 2. We highly recommend that 8th grade students consider sequencing in math so that you don't have a break in math and it's fresh in your head.
I have a question.
Yes, Ms. G.
Can I take math over the summer so I can get ahead?
Well,
like, what if I take Math 1 this summer and then I can do 2 next year?
We don't recommend that students do that over the summer, Ms. G, because now you can sequence. That gives you a much greater chance of success. In our experience, students who attempt to take math over the summer do not do well because it's not, as intense as it is at CHS. So basically, unfortunately, the answer to that question is no.
Okay, but I want to take 2 maths. So I want to do Math 1 and Math 2.
You can do that, Ms. G, because you took Math 8 as an 8th grader. So the sequencing course options, you will notice you would have to put a 4510 for Math 1, and that F stands for it will be in the fall. And the Math 2 code 4513 is S. So that means that class would automatically be placed in term 2 or spring term. Now, there's all kinds of sequencing codes on the top. So for example, if you are a student who took Math 1 in the 8th grade and you wanted to sequence Math 2 term 1 in the fall and Integrated Math 3 in the spring, then the course codes are right there. You would just need to make sure you entered an F and an S. So because Ms. G is taking 2 math classes, that's going to count for 2 in her course selection count. So next we get to lab science. Lab science is required as a freshman in the terminology is D. So D is science in the UC system. So basically, if you took Math 8 at the middle school, you are choosing biology. So Miss G is going to put down the code for biology, which is going to be 3070. If you took Math 1 or Math 2 at the middle school, then you pick chemistry. Chemistry goes with Math 2.
Do I need to be teacher recommended for chemistry, or can I just pick it?
You can put it down on your course selection sheet if you're going to be taking Math 2 next year, but please check with your 8th grade science teacher, because ultimately where you're placed is based on their recommendation. But just remember, if you're in Math 8, you're going to pick biology. If you're in Math 1 or 2 in 8th grade, you're picking chemistry. And if you have questions about any of that, you can ask your 8th grade science teacher.
Ms. Johnson, I have a question.
Yes.
So what if I'm going to take integrated Math 2? So you're telling me I should do chemistry, but what does that mean for my biology requirement? What if I don't want to take AP science because I don't like science that much?
It is your choice. If you're taking Math 1 in 8th grade, so you're choosing Math 2 as a 9th grader, you certainly could take biology. You don't have to take the science classes in sequence. So if you're a little bit leery about high school science, you can take Math 2 and take biology. So freshmen who take chemistry, many of them will choose to go on as a sophomore, and they will take AP biology to get that science requirement out of the way.
But if I don't want to take AP biology, then do you think I should do regular biology now and chemistry as a sophomore?
Sorry, guys, we're just keeping it real at CHS. We're having a few tech problems. I'm sorry, Mr. Cummins. Can you please repeat your question?
So if I'm a little bit leery about wanting to take AP biology, should I just do biology now as a freshman and then do chemistry as a sophomore?
I think that that's a great plan, Mr. Cummins. You could certainly do that. We don't want to stress you out. And it's another thing to consider is the math that you see in biology is very similar to the math that you see in Math 1. The math you see in chemistry is similar to the math that you're studying in Math 2. And then physics, which is after chemistry, is pretty much aligned with the math that you will see in Math 3. So it's really your personal choice. The other thing that I can say is we don't have time to get into your personal situation right now, but remember, you're going to meet with us individually, and then we can answer all the questions based on, your fears and your questions, and we can finalize it at that point. So choose the best you can. And just remember, we're going to have an individual appointment where we can get into more depth. Does that make you feel better?
It does. Thank you.
Great, Mr. Cummins. Okay, with that, we're going to move on to world languages. Are we all clear with our tech, Miss G?
Hopefully.
Great, keeping it real at CHS. Okay, world language. So 2 years to be eligible for four-year college. So at the high school, we offer Spanish and French. So if you're an 8th grade student who took Spanish A in the 7th grade and Spanish B in the 8th grade, and you get your teacher recommendation, you can go on to Spanish 2 at the high school.
Oh, I have a question.
Yes, Miss G.
Miss Johnson, I don't really like world language. Do I have to take it in high school?
Well, you do need to take it in high school, Miss G, because to complete the A through G requirements, you need 2 years of the same language. So you can pick Spanish and you can pick French, but yes.
I'm just a little nervous about taking it in 9th grade. Can I take it maybe another year?
You could take it another year, but we do recommend that you take it as a freshman to kind of get your feet wet, but you don't have to. It's your personal choice.
I don't think I want to take world language this year.
Okay. So, Mr. Cummins, do you want to take a world language this year? Do you want to hear a little bit more about it?
Yes, I want to learn how to speak Spanish.
Okay. Mr. Cummins, did you take Spanish A and B at CMS?
I did.
Okay. So, Mr. Cummins, you might want to consider taking Spanish 2, which is 5688. And you can also sequence Spanish or French, just like you have that option with math. So under the E requirement, which is world language, if you did want to sign up for Spanish 2 and Spanish 3, Mr. Cummins, then you would enter 5688F for the fall, and then you would choose 6216 in the spring. But because Miss G is our sample student, we're going to leave that blank and it's not going to count in her total course count. So Miss G, we're going to enter the totals on page 1.
Ooh, how many do I have? Let's see. I have 1 English, 2 math, 1 science. That's 4.
So we're going to enter 4. Great. Okay. So you'll notice that the next couple of sections are optional. So before you pick out any, let me describe what these categories are about. The F requirement is fine art under the UC terminology. You have to take a fine art to be eligible to apply for college. You don't have to do it next year. You could do it any 4 years at high school, and these are all the courses that count. Just a reminder, if you pick band 7020, you must take it all year. You cannot just take it one term. You would put 7020 down twice, and you would be required to do it all year long. There's no option to take it just one term.
Got it.
Any questions about that, Miss G?
Nope.
Okay. And then you'll notice the next course, the next thing is A through G college prep electives. These are courses that count as the G requirement, which is a college prep elective. You will also notice that some of them have another letter after the name. So for example, AP Human Geography could be a G, but there's an A because it's also a social science college prep class. So it just counts double. That doesn't, you don't need to stress that out. But what I wanted to talk about for a minute is AP Human Geography and AP Comp Sci Principles.
Yeah, why are they bolded? Why does it look different than everything else on the sheet?
Well, at CHS, bolded classes are weighted in the GPA configuration. So you get, if you get an A, it counts as a 5 in your GPA configuration.
Cool.
We are excited to offer AP classes to freshmen. These are the 2 AP classes you can choose to take. So if you choose to take an AP class, we just want to remind you they are 4-year college level classes. They are rigorous and they move quickly. So make sure you go over the course description, which can be found on the CHS website, so you understand what you're getting into because class sizes are limited. We want to encourage you to take these classes, but if you want to wait until you're sophomore to take an AP class, that's also okay.
So Ms. Johnston, since those classes are worth more points for my GPA, shouldn't I be taking all of those classes to make sure my GPA is as high as possible?
Mr. Cummins, absolutely not. You should be taking courses in upper levels like honors and AP that you feel strong in, that you're excited about, that you want to challenge yourself with the rigor. Both me and Ms. G read applications for the UC system on the side. So we know a lot about college admissions. And then we have reps come and meet with our students every year at CHS. And we've talked to them a lot over the years, and they all pretty much have the same advice. You don't need to take every AP class under the sun to get into a good college. What you should do is take rigorous courses in subjects that you feel that you want a more in-depth study with, that you feel comfortable with, and you're excited taking the upper level. Like I said before, maybe you're more of a humanities and English student and you want to take APs in English and maybe at some point consider AP psychology. Does that make sense, Mr. Cummins?
Yes.
Okay, so Miss G, we're going to go back and you can pick out your electives, but I wanted to go over PE, which is the last required freshman requirement. So for PE, the state of California has every freshman sign up to take PE. You cannot get out of this requirement. It's a state requirement, so you have to pick one of these. So basically, you can pick one of 3. You can take regular freshman PE and health. We offer a freshman dance PE class that also meets that requirement with a focus on dance. We also offer an NJROTC program, which we're super excited about. And I just wanted to take a minute to describe that to you because a lot of students question about what it is. So our NJROTC program, Naval Science ROTC, such a fun program. Captain Raven, who runs it, is the best guy. We love him so much. And it's a great way to make friends, to get connected. They do lots of fun things like bonfires and field trips. Lots of my students on my caseload that are in ROTC hang around the ROTC room. after school. There's tutoring available. They have their own snack bar. It's just like a great, great program. So
that sounds fun.
Yeah, I think it's a really great option for students who really want to get connected and involved in things at CHS. So I'm glad you're picking that, Ms. G.
I'm so excited.
So Ms. Johnston, I play sports, so I don't have to take PE, right?
Mr. Cummins, like I said, all ninth graders, even if you play 3 seasons of sport, you have to sign up for one of these PE classes. I will say, however, if you play a sport, you might want to consider taking an off roll. So I can explain that next.
I play basketball. How would that impact me taking an off roll?
Okay, so if you play a sport, we do encourage you to take an off roll or considering taking an off roll when your sport is played. So an off roll is a free period. So you can see right here, you can schedule yourself for a free period. So if Miss G plays basketball, she might want to consider taking a spring off roll period 4. That way she doesn't have to worry about missing class when she has away games or for practice. So Miss G, you might want to take 7 classes to kind of take an extra elective, but maybe you want to take an off roll so you don't have to worry about being pulled out of an academic class.
But Ms. Johnston, I play basketball too, and Ms. Nixon told me that most of the season is in term 1 and not term 2. So shouldn't I do the fall 4th period off and not the spring?
Good point, Mr. Cummins. I'm going to take fall 4th period off because that's when most of the basketball season is.
Thanks for putting that out.
But for my fall sport, for football, then I should do fall. And when I play baseball in the spring, then I should do spring, right? Do I have that correct?
You have that correct.
Winter sports are the only ones where it's kind of tricky because it overlaps?
Yes. So if you have questions about that in particular, you can ask your counselor during your individual meeting and they can make sure that you're scheduled for the correct off roll for your season of sports. Does that make sense, Mr. Cummins?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so just to go over the rest of the electives, there's other optional electives, anatomy and physiology, and you can see some other ones there if you want to choose those, and you can read the course descriptions on the website if you're interested in more information. ASB is by application only, so you can ask the ASB teacher at CMS if you're interested in that. If you've applied to COSA, that counts as 2 classes and you would put the code over here in whatever conservatory that you have applied to. So if you're applying to a conservatory and you haven't heard back yet, go ahead and put it on your course selection sheet. But just in case, which everyone's going to do, you're going to fill in some alternate electives, but we'll get to that in a minute. We want to make sure that Miss G has filled out all 8 classes. So let's go back and see. You had,
I don't think I have 8 yet.
You had 4 from the first page.
And I have PE, that's 5. Off period
is
that's
6.
6. So I need 2 more. So I can pick 2 electives.
You can pick 2 electives, Miss G.
Awesome.
So what do you want to take?
I was really excited about AP Human Geography. I think that sounds super fun.
Miss G, and you're ready for it to be a college level course and you know it's rigorous?
I think so. I'm ready to take on the challenge.
Okay.
And then the other one that sounded really interesting was woodworking. Do I just get to build stuff out of wood?
Yeah, you take well, at first you have to take a safety test before you're allowed all around all the big saws. But after that, you build a skateboard.
What?
Yes. And Mr. Heggested, the teacher, is super fun and cool.
That's awesome. So now I think I have my 8 classes, but you said I have to pick alternates too, right?
Okay.
Why do I have to do that?
Miss G, this is super, super important. Remember at the beginning, I said that we offer tons of electives, and if we don't have enough interest in a course, it might get canceled. If that happens and you haven't filled in your alternates, then the computer is just going to stick you in any open elective, and we don't want that to happen. So what you're going to do in the order of interest, Miss G, is you're going to put elective number 1 alternative. You're going to pick the one that you're most excited about, and then your second and third choice should be last. You must fill these in. It is a requirement for registration. For us to save the rest of your classes, you must pick 3 alternates.
Ms. Johnston, these are the 8 classes that I want. I don't want any other electives. Why do I have to do that?
Well, Mr. Cummins, we do our best to place you in your first choice classes, but like I said, if something gets canceled due to lack of interest, or if you choose something that fills up with seniors, Not very often, but every once in a while, you won't get your first choice electives. We still want to give you a choice. So that's why you have to fill in the alternate electives.
Is it okay that I pick Spanish 1, even though it doesn't say it's an elective, but can I put that as an alternate just in case?
Absolutely. So let's go back to the top. These are courses that you could pick as either electives or alternative electives. You can pick world language. You could pick a visual or performing art. You could pick a college prep elective or an other elective. The reason for that is because it's just kind of spread out so you can get used to the A through G terminology.
Perfect.
Can I choose to sequence a class as one of my alternate courses?
Yes, you could. So because Miss G only picked one math class.
I picked 2 math.
You picked 2 math.
I'm doing
class.
math 1 and 2 in the same year because I love math.
Well, Mr. Cummins, if you had picked just math 2, then you could put math 3 as an alternate, and then I would make sure you got it in the correct term.
Thank you.
Just remember, if you have any questions at all, it will all be answered in your individual appointment with the CHS counselor. Okay, finally, very, very important to fill out the bottom. In order for us to enter your classes, you must sign this form and your parent must sign this form. You must have a parent signature before we can give you your classes at CHS. And we also want you to put down an email. Please put down an email that is not your CHS email because we want to be able to contact you over the summer. So if you have a Yahoo Mail or Gmail or whatever you prefer where we can reach you with questions, that's what we will use to contact you. Okay?
Well, what if I don't have an email yet?
Then feel free to put down your mom or dad's email if they check it frequently. That's totally
fine. Why are you going to contact me over the summer? There's nothing going on over the summer.
Well, we work over the summer, Mr. Cummins, and sometimes something will come up, where something gets canceled, or we just want to reach out to make sure that students are okay with their schedule. Anytime we can give a student and a family options about their schedule, we contact them so they can finalize the decision instead of us or the computer deciding for them.
That makes sense.
Any other questions, you feisty two?
I'm just really excited to be at the high school, and I'm also really excited for the future Islanders night in April, and I can't wait to see everything in person.
You guys, we are so excited that you're coming up to the high school. We love talking to new students. We're going to be around. We are all super friendly and easygoing, and we are not scary at all. It's really funny. Sometimes students come to our office and they're all like a little bit scared of us, and they think we're going to sit here and say, you must take AAP classes. And we do not do that. Right, guys?
That's right.
No, all of our offices are located together. It's really easy to see us. You just walk right in during lunch or after school. We have clipboards on our door. You can email us anytime at all. So we're available to help you throughout this process. And again, we just don't want you to be stressed. So that's it, everybody. Thanks for watching. See you soon at your individual appointments.
Bye.